Hey there, garden friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Today, it's garlic planting time. So there's two types of garlic, and depending on where you live, one type is better than the other for you. So there are hardneck varieties, like this one that I'm going to be planting. It's called Georgian Fire. And there are soft neck varieties, like this one, called Silver White. Now what's the difference? So they look the same for the most part, right? On the outside. However, hardneck varieties have a single row of large bulbs, large cloves. Soft neck varieties have multiple rows of smaller cloves. And that's not the only difference. Hardnecks don't store as well, but they do give you something awesome called garlic scapes. Garlic scapes are the flower stalk of garlic. And if you let it bloom, it would turn into a really pretty flower, just like everything in the allium family. So you might have seen decorative allium flowers that are sold for springtime. It would be a similar looking flower. If you let it flower, it will detract from the growth of the bulb and you won't get very good garlic. But you can harvest those scapes, and I'll put a link to the video about that below, and you can make some delicious recipes with it. So, hardneck. Now hardneck grows best in zones 8 and below. It's a lot more hardy. Softneck garlic does not produce a scape, and it's called a soft neck because the neck of the garlic stays very loose. And so soft neck garlic is great for braiding, and it stores longer, up to 12 months. Soft neck garlic does a lot better in warm zones. However, you're still going to struggle if you're in zone probably 10 and higher. So if you would like to grow garlic and you're in a higher zone, a lot of growers have had great success with putting their soft neck garlic varieties into the refrigerator for up to 12 weeks before planting. That does something called vernalization. Basically, it gives the garlic clove the cold period that it needs in order to produce a really good bulb for you. So that's an option. I like to plant both. Like I've said before, we're in this weird little microclimate right here in my home garden that gives us a lot more cold nights than people just up the hill. Even though we're in a 9B, it acts a lot colder than that. So I like to plant both hardneck and softneck. Hardneck because I adore garlic scapes, and they make amazing pesto, which, like I said, you can see in the video that I'll link below. But softneck is also great too, and you can get so many different varieties with lots of different flavor profiles. So I have 4 varieties I'm going to plant here today. So I have the Silver White softneck, like I mentioned already. I have a Georgian Fire hardneck. I have an Inchelium Red softneck, and I have a Music hardneck. So that's 4 varieties, and I'm going to show you how we're going to plant them. Now, garlic is a hungry crop, and it's also a very long season crop. When you plant it, don't expect anything for 9 months. So you need to choose a spot that isn't going to be disturbed, that you can have just let it go for 9 months before harvest. Garlic needs extremely well draining soil. It will rot if it sits in mucky soil for a long time. So if you have clay soil, mix in a bunch of sand and a lot of organic matter like compost to make it more free draining. They grow great in raised beds or in containers where the draining is better. So I grow mine in raised beds, and I'm sitting on the bed we're going to grow it on right now. This bed did have all my tomatoes in it, so it definitely is going to need nutrition before I plant the garlic, because the tomatoes sucked out a lot of the nutrition from the soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig little trenches. I'm going to add compost into those trenches, and then I'm going to plant the cloves, and I'm going to make sure that I mark them with my markers because I will forget completely what the varieties are, and they look the same. you know, if you look at them in the bag right here, when you open them up, they might look slightly different, but for the most part, they look the same. They do smell amazing though. So I would love for you to give garlic a try. Let's get started on preparing the bed. Okay, so I've got my bed set up with my markers, the garlic for each one in front. Now all I need to do is dig some trenches. And usually I can fit 2 rows of each variety in here when I have 4 varieties. All right, so digging my trench. All right, now I'm gonna add my compost. Now, when it comes to planting, all you have to do is peel them apart, get your individual cloves. You can leave the paper on there, no problem. You're gonna stick them in the soil with the pointy end up, because that's where the stalk is gonna come from. Stick them in the ground, about 2 to 3 inches apart, cover it back up, put them about, so the good rule of thumb with bulbs, no matter whether they're tulips, garlic, whatever, is you should plant them 2 times their depth. So this is about 1.5 inches. I'm gonna plant it 3 inches down. Okay, so we've got the garlic planted. I put a layer of compost on top. I actually filmed that all, but the thing wasn't working, so of course you didn't get to see that. But now I'm covering with a layer of straw. This helps to keep things from digging in here, and it holds in the moisture because it's still going to be at least a month, maybe more, before we get rain. So I'll set up my drip on here so that the soil doesn't dry out and it does get moisture. But also, mostly, the straw is to keep things from digging, because the rodents love to dig and bury things, especially the squirrels. They like to, right this time of year, they're burying acorns and stuff like that. And this keeps them from doing that. Nothing really eats the garlic or onions for that matter. It's really more about keeping things from digging in here. Okay, so we'll replace the Drip irrigation. So that's all there is to it. I hope you will give it a try. Now is the time to plant if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Fall is the time to plant for garlic for next year. Please give it a try. Could you get a bulb at the grocery store and do it? Yes. I can't guarantee the results though. I get this particular package came from Keene Garlic, Keene Garlic. I'll link them down below as well. But there's lots and lots of great purveyors of specialty garlics out there. You can even try your local nursery because chances are they have some as well. And even better, your local nursery, the garlic that they carry is most likely the stuff that's going to do best in your climate. So check it out, give it a try. If you have limited space, maybe try growing a couple of bulbs in a pot and see what happens. I guarantee you're going to love having your own fresh garlic. If you want more hints and tips on how to deal with garlic, check out my previous video that I'll link below on how to use garlic scapes. And I think in that video I also discuss harvest time and what you do when you harvest, how to cure, etc. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.